$231,000 in passive net worth increase. So let's talk about the difference between passive income, which is extremely popular to talk about, and net worth, which seems nobody wants to talk about. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Stubbs. I'm a team leader, co-founder here at the SB Luxury Group. So let's dive into thinking about the long-term plan. Let's put together a 5-year plan for owning real estate. But first, I have 3 major things that I want to say to anybody thinking about home ownership or not sure if they should or should have bought a property. So number 1 is thinking with a long-term mindset. I think that if you are trying to figure out what is going to happen tomorrow versus what's going to happen 5 years from now, you're going to have a really hard time trying to make any decisions if you're focusing on tomorrow for the next 30, 60, 90 days versus over the next 5 years, what is the right decision to make. But there's a quote that I love that is, you do not wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait. Now, this is different if you're flipping property. If you just are an investor, sure, this is a different mindset. But I want you to put this lens of, should I buy a property? Does it make sense to buy now? Does it make sense to wait? That's always your decision. But when you are trying to make that decision and saying, well, I'd be glad that I bought this thing 5 years from now, when you're looking at real estate, chances are that answer is going to be yes way more often than most other things, or the more benefit you see the longer you own it. Number 2 is that the benefits of home ownership actually compound over time. Your compounding interest is that the appreciation on your property is going to go up over time. And what that means is, let's use an easy $1 million purchase, is when you buy that house for $1 million, and if you assume that real estate in Southern California appreciates at 5% a year, which is actually the average. So if you buy that house for $1 million, and if you have average appreciation, next year it should be worth $1.05 million. Now next year, this is where it compounds, is that 5% increase comes off of $1.05 million. So it goes up more than the $50,000 that it went up last year. So when you look at that compounding effect of prices go up over time, that is extremely valuable when you're looking at this over a longer period of time versus the next 30 days. Okay, now the other aspect of this is your equity or your principal pay down. So equity is the difference between what you owe on the home. So if you have a mortgage, you're going to have a balance versus what it's worth, and your equity is that in between. So the home appreciating is going to raise what it's worth, and your principal pay down is going to lower what you're actually owing on that property. So every single month when you make that mortgage payment, you're going to be plowing money into your net worth piggy bank and increasing that over time, lowering your loan amount and increasing that net worth. Number 3 is that a lot of people are using their first property in order to live in there for 5 to 7 years, increase that net worth, and then trade all that into the next property that is worth more money. Now, what happens, going back to number 2, is when you buy a more expensive property, your payment's probably going to be higher, but your appreciation is going to be increased as well too. Because if real estate appreciates at 5%, 5% of $1 million is a lot more than 5% of 500,000. So if you buy that 2-bedroom townhome that's 500,000, 600,000, in 5 years from now you buy $1 million single family, and then you buy the $1.5 million pool house, you can see over time on a 20-year plan, you can get to that dream home if you can wait. So let's use this $750,000 example. I'm looking over here at my screen because I have math. So we're putting together a 5-year plan for this $750,000 home. Now let's pretend like we're also putting 5% down, which is not the minimum, but it's pretty close to the minimum down payment. It's actually what I did when I bought my property. Let's assume that we're going to have less than average appreciation over this 5-year plan. Average is about 5% here in Southern California. I'm going to use 3% for this example. I think it's very safe to say that over the next 5 years from now, we're going to have an average of 3% appreciation. I think that's very safe. We're going to buy this home for $750,000, and we're going to hurry up and wait. 5 years have now passed, and this home with just 3% appreciation has increased from $750,000 all the way to $869,000. That is a $169,000 increase in your net worth because you purchased the property for $750,000 5 years ago and nothing else happened. Now let's pretend also that you have your principal pay down. Your loan amount is going to be decreased over time as well too. So between your appreciation of $169,000 and your principal pay down is getting you to that total of $231,000 in additional net worth. Now, my question, if you're a renter, over the 5 years, are you saving more than the $231,000? Is it possible? Absolutely. Are you putting a lot of time and effort into making that additional money off of the investment? But I'll leave you with one very last thing, is if we take this example of the 5-year plan, a $750,000 home, you have an increase in net worth of $231,000. If we double that to a 10-year plan, that turns into $437,000. So I hope you can see that over a long period of time, buying real estate is almost always a great idea. So if you want to have more information on this, if you want to talk about your situation, as always, let us know. Thanks for watching.